Alright, so I lied. I'm going to do one more quickie video tonight since I was kind of already talking about it. Well, this is for one thing I just wanted to address something basically because I know there's probably a lot of people out there that buy tattoo supplies from Amazon. I know they've become pretty big as far as selling stuff now. But I did want to address well, a couple of things about them. One, probably the most important thing is they lie about some of the products they sell. I didn't get this particular, this is like a hummingbird Gen 2. It's a genuine hummingbird. You can kind of see it on the side here. It has a little hummingbird thing. So this is a genuine hummingbird Gen 2. I didn't buy this from Amazon. And when I bought it, I just had heard some good things about these particular rotaries. So I bought one, not really knowing. But as far as like I was talking about the hit, these little knobs on the back, like this adjusts the hit, which is basically the stroke length. It doesn't adjust how hard it hits your skin per se, well, any more than a regular liner or shader would, because all that basically does is control how far back and forth this needle moves. So I will say I know Amazon does sell genuine hummingbird Gen 2s. So right here, this is on 5 volts too, by the way, and that's like flying. But as you can kind of see on that a little bit, again, like I can see that plain as day, maybe not so much through the phone. But basically, so that's like the maximum stroke length or hit per se I can get out of that. When Amazon advertises these, I think they sell them adjustable up to like 4.2 millimeter, or at least it's like 4 millimeter, I believe. So Hummingbird, the company itself, says these are adjustable only from 3.2 to 3.5 millimeter. Which was one reason why I was kind of wondering. I mean, I can kind of look at it basically and tell that's not, 4 millimeters. But, just, I don't know, taking it for granted after I had seen Amazon advertising that, I was like, geez, I wonder why I never really get really good luck doing a lot of color packing work with that if it's at the maximum stroke length. And like that's basically why. So it's a very, very small difference in the stroke length you will get out of one of these. And I did another video, I got one of these. This is a Dragonfly knockoff that I got from Amazon, because I just basically had heard so much hype about these, and some people were saying they were junk. Some people said they were really good. So I bought one just for curiosity's sake, and I've had this for quite a while, and I use this for the liner with that. What I noticed on these, basically when you turn this, which is supposed to be adjusting the stroke length, and I'm not saying, I mean, these are, you got to consider Amazon makes money off everything that they sell. So this particular tattoo machine was relatively inexpensive to begin with. Amazon is definitely making money off of it. So you got to knock a few dollars off each one of these that are sold, you know what I mean? So if you're buying something, say for $15 from Amazon, it's probably about a $7 tattoo machine. Like I paid, I think, $140 for the Gen 2 in last year, and that thing's been wonderful as far as run wise and for gray wash work. But I did notice on these, just by turning this little thing, the knob that should be adjusting the stroke length, it doesn't really do anything. Like at one particular point, it makes it a little quieter. But as far as watching how far back and forth that needle travels, it doesn't personally seem to do anything on this. And I'm not saying it probably does it on all of them, because these are like mass manufactured. So some of them probably work better than others. But I mean, as far as how this actually runs, and I use this again for the liner with that, because I don't like running anything for like an extended period of time, especially rotaries, because you do want to kind of preserve the motor life. So I've had fantastic luck as far as using this for a liner. I definitely won't use it for a shader, just judging on the stroke length. And I also bought, like, this is a, sometimes I'll switch off, and sometimes I'll use this. This is like a Hummingbird Gen 1 knockoff that I got from Amazon. So sometimes I'll switch off, to give that one a little break. Because again, with this one too, this one's probably about a 3.5 at the max. And the thing is with this too, though, I will say these springs right here, when that's actually moving and you actually touch down with the needle, these springs offer a little bit of give. Another thing too, real quick to talk about, grommets and armature bar nipples. Like I personally don't use grommets. I use these little armature bar nipples. So they have some, like basically these are China ones that I bought because they're hard. And this will definitely affect like your hit on a tattoo machine. So because this tends to have a little bit of give to it, like I'll use like a harder nipple as opposed to like the Gen 1, which like these really don't have any give per se. So like I'll use the softer, like you know, more of like an American made standard one on this. But so anyway, yeah, just a couple of things to go over with you. You know, as far as like, don't always believe what you hear Amazon, because I can't stress enough, they're not a professional tattoo supplier. And you know, I know they have a lot of tattoo machines that they'll sell, and they'll say, oh yeah, you can use it as a liner or shader. Like I wouldn't personally use this as a shader, no way, not judging by the stroke length, but for anybody that doesn't know about the stroke length, you would probably think you can just pop a liner or, you know, pop your liner tube and whatever out and, you know, put a shader on and rock and roll. And, you know, you might be able to get away with it and like tattoo with it or whatever, but you know, you'd probably be struggling a lot, I would imagine, trying to get any good color in. I mean, even with this genuine one, because again, it only goes up to a 3.5 millimeter. It's not really great for color work, but I'll tell you, these are probably one of the best gray wash rotaries I've ever used. Another thing I always hear people bitch about with these is they always talk about these stripping out these tube vices. I mean, they are made out of plastic. You don't have to crank on anything on rotary machines. Believe me, I've learned the hard way, you know, just being so used to coil machines, and they're so much better made in general. So, you know, you definitely don't have to crank these down because, again, all these pieces right in through here are all plastic. Even the screws and everything on these are plastic. So just snug them down enough so it, you know, holds your tube vise, or your tube rather. You don't have to crank on anything. And I did another video on like some preventive maintenance on these Amazon tattoo machines, because a lot of times like these, I personally don't use clip cord on this because it's got the dual hookup. I try not to use clip cords on any rotaries because generally the posts are so close together. When you're turning your wrist, it'll put a lot of tension on the post, and sometimes the post will twist, and you don't want to have like a metal on metal contact, or it'll blow your power box. So I did another video on some preventive maintenance on buying any inexpensive tattoo machines, and you know, just a couple quick things you can do that'll definitely save you a lot of headache and heartache with them, you know. And again, if you're not spending a lot of money, you really can't expect a whole lot, but you know, I mean, you want to get your money's worth, you just want them to run, you know, as good as possible. So feel free to check that video out too. But again, you know, son, I mean, when you're talking about how much just a couple millimeters will make a big difference in how your tattoos come out between lining and shading or whatever, you know, something even just the hardness of like a armature bar nipple or a grommet will definitely, you know, make a big difference too. So you would want to use like softer ones, generally on rotary, certainly on direct drives. Again, with this one, because the spring here offers quite a bit of give, you know, I just use these harder, the China, they're just hard ones. I mean, I imagine you can get American-made ones too, but, so yeah, you know, there's just little, you know, little tiny things, little hints I could probably, you know, throw at you or whatever to kind of help you out a little bit. But, anyway, again, feel free to check out that preventive maintenance video. I could probably do another quickie video about another Amazon why, but yeah, just, you know, don't take what they say. If you don't know anything about stroke length, learn about it, because you can't take what they're telling you as truth. Actually, I will do one more quickie video just to really prove my point as far as that goes. But all right, I'll see you back in a minute. Bye.